Hey everybody, let's see, I'm gonna go ahead, there's nobody in here right now, but I'm gonna go ahead with this and you can catch up with it later. I had a couple of things that I needed to clarify, and then something. Please watch the whole video because there's gonna be like at least 2 or 3 segments to this. So the first thing is that I wanted to clarify about my truck. My truck that broke down on me, that it gelled. Apparently when it gelled, it caused at least one of the injectors to go bad, which was pumping all my fuel out. And it didn't take long once that happened. So it was kind of a combination of things. I was just talking to another driver who had the very same thing happen to him. So apparently it's a common problem. Anyway, whenever that happened, they put me in an older truck. For some reason, I had several people comment in my comments and asking me why I'm upset about that. I am not. Actually, it's a pain in the rear to change trucks, to move all your stuff out of one truck into another. It's amazing how much stuff that I carry down the road with me to make my life a better thing. Because I live in my truck, so I mean, I've got all kinds of stuff in here that makes my life easier on the road. But you know, the aggravation of moving from one truck to the other, that's okay. That can happen anyway. Whether they just decide to up and sell my truck and they wanted me to move to a new one, it's still, you know, it's a pain. But I'm not unhappy about this truck, even though it's an older truck. I'm actually happy about it. This truck does not have the lane departure, that big old black box that sits up in your windshield. That is the biggest pain in the rear that they have ever come up with. It doesn't work as intended. This thing can't tell the difference between old stripes and new stripes, and sometimes it'll make up its own stripe. Especially if you're up here where it snows all the time, it'll see a line of snow and think that's the white line on the side of the road, and it's just constantly going off. There's a button that you can temporarily turn it off, and I don't know if it stays off for 2 minutes or 20 minutes. Either way, it comes back on, and it's an aggravation. It's a constant, everyday aggravation to listen to this thing on either side tell you that you're over the line when you may or may not be. So I wanted to clarify that and let you know that actually I'm happy about the older truck that they put me in. They were going to find me a truck out on the national board, and apparently there wasn't one available, and it was taking a while. So I told them I was happy in the truck that I'm in, which seemed to surprise them. But they're going to leave me in this truck, so no worries. I'm happy over here. So anybody that thought that I was unhappy about this older truck is they're mistaken. Number 2, I do not watch television. It started when I started driving a truck. I'm gone all the time. I'm on the road all the time. The other company that I worked for, they had satellite TV in my truck and a big old, not a big, but a big enough TV in the back where I could lay in the bunk and watch any satellite TV that anybody else could watch. But I hardly ever turned it on. I just got to where there's nothing but propaganda and nonsense on there anymore. The news is not news. I ain't going to get into that, but anyway, I don't watch television. So here and in most terminals, they've got a big screen TV, and they do here at the DC that I'm working out of. Some of the guys that are the local guys that do this is all they do. They don't do anything. They're not a national driver. They're a local dedicated Walmart driver. And they all chipped in and bought this big screen TV that's in the break room. The break room has vending machines in it. It's got table and chairs. It's got pretty much a full kitchen in it. If you wanted to go in and cook for yourself and then divvy it up to suit 2 or 3 days, you can go in there and do that. And a lot of guys do. They'll go in there, and some people even get to feeling real generous, and they'll buy a dozen eggs and a whole bunch of bacon. And out here they do hash browns. I'm not a hash brown guy. I'm a grits guy. But anyway, they'll cook breakfast for everybody, or for a bunch of people going, "Hey, Snapper, good to see you, man." I'm going to talk about something that you brought up the other day. Hang with me. Anyway, I don't watch television, and the other day I'm sitting in the break room. I had gone out and I had my private vehicle shipped out here, so I can take off, and it is a southern thing. I love my grits now. But anyway, I had gone out and got some supper and brought it back here and was eating, and the TV's on in there, and I happened to look up they were watching the Nat Geo channel, and I don't even remember, I wasn't really paying attention to what was on TV, but the Nat Geo channel had a commercial that come on, and it was literally a woman, a close-up of a woman in a pair of really skimpy panties, shaving down there. I was brought up in a I won't say a hardcore Baptist, but it was it was about as close as you could get to it. And you know, a very moral driven family I grew up in, and that was the kind of things I used to get upset whenever my wife and I was dating. That's when they first started showing commercials for Tampax, tampons, excuse me, and panty liners. I would get embarrassed, not for me, but for my wife and her family, or the girls, her other sisters and whatever. I would be embarrassed for them because they're showing this stuff on TV. This is the kind of stuff you don't need, especially when children are watching. And on the Nat Geo channel, children watch these channels. You don't need a child going, "Mama, why is she shaving down there?" It's just this kind of thing that you don't need. Anyway, I got upset about this on TV, this commercial, and the other drivers that was in there is looking at me like I'm crazy, like, why are you getting upset about it? Apparently this is a common thing, and women walking around in their panties and their bras and see-through negligees and this is on TV all the time. So they apparently it's I don't watch television. I can't imagine the filth that's on TV anymore, and you just don't need that. Anyway, old Snapper, I don't know if you're still in the chat with me or not, but he brought up a thing the other day where he was showing a driver that had made a little short where he was upset with truck drivers that said that if it wasn't for truck drivers, people would starve and they would go naked, and it wouldn't take long before all the stores would be empty. And he did not like that a bit. I guess he seemed to think that truck drivers were being sanctimonious. Oh, good deal. We need to talk about that then. Your last 6 days. I don't know if that... Oh, okay, good deal. Okay, you're going over to hunt. good deal. I understand they make good money over there. But anyway, this guy that he had a commercial on was talking about, he was upset that truck drivers felt like we supply all their food and clothing and other stuff, all the stuff. We do. Name something that you got in your house that didn't come to you by a truck. It may have come by rail for a certain amount of time, but it got on a truck to come out to the store where you bought it from. All of the retailers, all of the food, it's amazing to me being at a distribution center to see the amount of food that comes in and then gets distributed out to all of the stores, and how that happens and how it works, and the sheer volume of trucks it takes just to keep one of these distribution centers operational it's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I understand there's something like 140 drivers that out of this one distribution center just for that CRETE has. This is not counting all the Walmart drivers that operate out of here too. But it's amazing to me that all this is what it takes to keep all these stores supplied. And there's other stores there's King Supers that are out here. There's other grocery stores that are all around. So it's not just the Walmarts, it's all these others. They have to have distribution centers as well. And to keep that amount of food moving, it's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But anyway, old Snapper, my friend that's also a CRETE driver, he's on the channel here with me right now, and he's been typing in the chat here. He's going over to hunt. This particular company has 3 different divisions. One of them is Hunt Transfer. The other one is Schaefer. Schaefer does all of the refrigerated side of it. And then the company that I work for is CRETE. We haul all the dry goods. And although I am a CRETE driver, I'm out here running refrigerated loads out of the Walmart distribution center. So, hey, flatbedder, good to meet you, man. Anyway, he's going to go over to the flatbed side, and they do, they haul anything and everything, but a lot of what they haul is tractors, I understand. So they're going to be, that's what he's going to be doing. And I understand they make good money, but there's with the money increase, there comes a lot of responsibility. And as an old man, it's not that I'm lazy. It's just that I don't know that that's the right thing for me to do. But more power to you, man. If I was a younger man, I'd go jump all over it. So the lights have just come on here at the DC. I had to close the window because it showed, I didn't pay attention to this. I recorded a video and then had to delete it because out my window shows some of the retailers stuff. So yep, old Schaefer was bought out in 1977. It used to be a company called Sunflower, I believe. But anyway, good to see you fellas in here. I am limited to 15 minutes and I'm at 14 right now. So anyway, that's where I've kind of got to end this. I wish I could keep going longer, but they will cut me off in the middle of a sentence if I don't do that. Thank you so much for joining me. If you get anything at all out of my videos, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks so much for joining me, especially Snapper and Flatbedder Rick. Thank you for being in here with me live. Really appreciate you. I'm going to have to sign off here. I'm at 14:43. Thank you again. We'll see you out on the roads.